Right, big data. This is what we are going to discuss today. Right. Why the big data concept is there? Because relational database management system is not capable enough to manage huge amount of data we are dealing with right now. Because every person is uses 40 exabytes of data uh, in a week, in a single week. Okay, if we multiply it by world population, it's around 5 billion. It'll be a huge amount of data, right? I already told you data and information will be the biggest asset in future. Therefore, we need to manage them. Right. These are some examples. Okay. Let's have a look at the data generated per minute on the internet. Per minute. Okay. You take a minute. 2.1 million Snapchats. 3.8 million Google search. 1 billion Facebook post. 4.5 million watch hours, I think. And 188 million emails is going to communicate or going to store. In every way, it uses big data. Right. Now, big data is a concept. Okay. Don't think about the meaning of those two words. Right. Like the DBMS, database management system. This is also kind of a system or concept which uses to manage huge amount of data. Right. This is what we need to learn from today. Right. This big data is possible with 5 V's. We call 5 V's. 5 concepts: volume, velocity, variety, right? Veracity and value. What is volume? Means amount of data. For example, when you think about a bank, how many transactions per day? Think about Facebook, how many data is going to store? The amount of post, amount of comments, reactions, friend requests, everything. Advertisements. Okay. Gmail. Think about number of emails. Right. Hospital. Amount of in Sri Lanka, there's no amount of data in hospitals, right? In all the other countries, what is the scenario now? Right, every hospital is connected to each other with networks, and every patient's information is going to store, okay, in a database. For example, when you go to a hospital, they check patients' all past recordings from the database. Right? The doctor doesn't need to ask each and every question from the patient. Everything is visible on the screen, and every prescription he is issuing is going to store as well. Okay, the current status is going to store in a database. Every patient, right? Right, that is enough. Again, the huge amount of data is collecting every day. In Sri Lanka, it's completely different. Right. Then there is volume. Okay, volume of data. Then what is velocity? The how fast data is going to collect. Okay, how fast the banking systems are going to do transactions, and our the big data concept should be suitable to collect all those data, right? Should be match with the actual speed of the velocity, right? It's collecting data fast. Those are the features. Okay, volume, yes, we can manage with big data. Velocity, yes, there's no problem, right? We can handle with big data. Variety, variety of data. That means some data is structured data. It's already structured. Yes, we can manage easily. Some data are semi-structured. Maybe those data is not tabulated correctly, right? But still we can use big data concept to manage those data. And there are unstructured data as well. Okay, unstructured mean in here it shows like X-ray image. Data is not structured, but still we can manage those data. Okay, right. Veracity means accuracy and trustworthy, right? When you're collecting data, it should be accurate. All the data and information. If data and informations are not accurate, there's no use of collecting them. Okay, it is veracity. Value after you collecting all structured or semi-structured or unstructured data, it should have a value. Okay, that means it should be valuable for us. If there's no value, there's no use of managing those data. We don't need to collect them. Okay, and the value will be increased when you analyze those things. All the data we collected, we can analyze, right? Data mining is another concept. We will learn them later. Data mining is the huge amount of data can mine, and we can take decisions based on the result, right? For example, for hospital example, when you collect all the informations about patients and doctors and all the stuff, we can take better decision. Doctor can take the accurate decision when they check the patient. Okay, they can give the accurate prescription, and with having the most accurate and trustworthiness data, we can reduce the cost as well. Okay, right. Those are the 5 V's. Okay, and we use frameworks, work with big data, right? That means kind of applications. The most common 3 applications that we can use is Cassandra, Hadoop, and Apache Spark. Okay, we are not going to do practicals from these things, but as a general knowledge, just remember these are the 3 frameworks that we can use to handle big data. Okay, right. Just go to Hadoop website. Open your web browser, search Hadoop, and go to the website. But in here, let's just go through these web pages and just get familiar with these wordings. Okay, stalling. You don't need to do any of them. Okay, if you're interested, just go through these website. This is not in content lemma. Okay, in your specification, there's nothing you need to do with this one. But when you go through this one, you'll get an idea. Right. Similarly, you can watch Cassandra and Spark as well. What I'm going to do here, I'll take Hadoop and I'll explain how actually this big data concept works in Hadoop. Okay, how the big data concept is going to manage all these data. Right? Do you think? Have you think how Facebook is going to manage everything? everyone's like, comments, post, photos. Got it. Nobody can do it manually, right? Everything is managed and analyzed automatically using these big data concepts, right? There are three things, Lamai, when it comes to Hadoop. One is the file system, how files are going to manage. The other thing is how process means task are going to do, right? And how data is going to analyze. Okay, I'll come to the first one here, which is Hadoop distributed file system. That means all the files and folders need to manage, right? When you managing data, then how Hadoop system works is something like this. Right, think about in your computer, you got one folder, size is 300 MB. That's it, right? You got a folder, the file is there, the total size is 300 MB. That's how you're going to store data. But in big data concept, the same folder is going to store in three different computers, three different machines. Okay, not only that, that same folder is going to, right, break into several subfolders like AB and C. This one is going to break into three folders, A, B and C, same data. Okay, and we'll take this A folder, and this A folder is going to save in one computer, not only one computer, many computers, right? Many devices, many storage. See, A is here and here as well, right? B is here and here as well. C is here as well. Not like two, right? It uses many. But this is the concept now. Distributed file system means distributing files among different devices, storages, and duplicating the same thing. Who can tell me why? Why big data concept is doing this? What is the reason behind that? For data security. Data can be secure. Why it's duplicating? If something happens to the device or storage, and the copy was there. Okay. Then why we break down the same folder? If some data is damaged or hacked, the original, the backup, there are the different backups as well. Okay, and in this way, do you know how cryptocurrencies work? Raise your hand if you don't know what is how cryptocurrency work and what is blockchain and everything. Right, I'll come to that one as well. Okay, now because the reason is you should have that knowledge, which is not, which is, you don't think this is not related to syllabus. Okay, right. Think about the traditional method of handling money. You're using, say, 5,000 rupee note. Then who is managing these rupees in Sri Lanka? Currencies. You can do transactions using your banks, right? And these banks are going to connect it with central bank. Got it? And if you're using the local currency, everything is managed by the central bank. Then it is centralized system. That means all the decisions are made by the central bank. Okay, centralized. They want, they can print money. Got it? Then what is the problem, Lamai? Think about this is Sri Lanka. This is another country. Again, that country, the local currency is managed by central bank. Okay. There can be some other banks as well, but all of them are links. Then as a person, if we want to purchase something from another country, what is the normal process? Right. There's something in China or USA. How are we going to purchase it? Your money or the currency is in your local bank through central bank. You have to do a transaction with central bank in another country. Okay. Then their local bank also can involve. Then you can purchase something. Right. Then your local bank, your country central bank, other country central bank, their local banks. Right. Something like complicated, right? Then what is the solution? As a solution, we are not dealing with bank, right? We don't need central bank as well. I will directly transfer money to the person who is purchasing. What is the problem? We can't do that directly, right? With the normal way, the normal from using normal currencies, we can't do that because everything is centralized, managed by central bank. Okay, that is the concept of cryptocurrencies. Using cryptocurrency, we can do direct transactions. That is the purpose of it. That is the purpose of introducing cryptocurrencies. Okay, then but now this something different is happening, right? Cryptocurrency introduced for this purpose. We can directly uh, deal with the people all around the world. Now something like trading stuff, it's different. It's a different story, right? Then how these things are handled? Who is going to handle cryptocurrencies? Who is going to manage it? There's no centralized system, right? There's no central banks, nothing, no one, no company is controlling it, but there should be, it should be managed, right? It should be in control. Who is doing that? It is also kind of a distributed system, right? Cryptos, we call them blockchain. It's a distributed system. Nothing is in a single place. Okay, it's distributed among different. Think about different computer, different devices. It's complicated, right? If you are doing a transaction, it records in several places, not just one place. Okay, it's recorded in several places. Then what's the problem with uh, centralized system? If something happens to centralized system, someone is going to hack our central bank. All the data is gone. What do you think? Right? There's a risk. In this way, almost it's impossible to hack these data because there are copies everywhere. It is very difficult to hack all the stuff in order. Okay, therefore that security is improved, and this is a concept level. Okay, it's concept introduced for another reason, to do transaction between people directly without involving any banks. Right. Don't go for any trading stuff, because that is not something which we can predict, in my opinion. Right. If you're interested, you can learn, but don't go for that. Right. This is another example for file distributed system. Right. HDFS means Hadoop file distributed system, distributed file systems. Right. Works in a similar way. Right. For example, 600 MB is going to divide into small chunks. Right. 128 is block B, right. 128 block C, 128 MB block D, the remaining stuff in block E. Okay, and it will make copies. If something happens to A, block A, you can still find fold A or block A in another device. Okay, done. That's the concept. Okay, just try to understand the concept. Once you understand the concept, that's it. You don't need to work hard to remember this stuff. That is file distribution system, handling files and folders, how files are going to distribute. Another concept we need to discuss with big data is how processes are going to distribute. Right. In our normal computers, which unit is going to do the process? CPU, central processing unit, in your computer, or it does all the executions, all the processes. Right. One processor can do all the stuff. Now we got quad core and dual core processors. That means one CPU got 4 processors. That is what quad core means. Right. Anyway, still our computer's got 1 processor. It can do, if it's quad core, 4 tasks at the same time. Okay. Then what is Hadoop? Parallel processing means if you want to do a task called A, again that task is going to break down to smaller tasks, and it executes or process using different machines. Same task distributed among different devices. Okay. And after executing these small chunks of tasks, at the end we can combine them together and we can give the result. That is what parallel processing means. Okay. Call them parallel processing. Right. This is very useful in our other lessons. Right. In 14, parallel processing. Parallel processing means we break one process into smaller tasks, and we execute them parallelly. At the end, we combine the result and we can output. That is what parallel processing means. Today's quiz is from big data. Okay. Okay, listen carefully. Right. Then why this big data concept is important? Why it is important? Because after we collecting data, then we can analyze very fast, right? And we can take decisions from current file distribution system by using current data. That means we can put all the records, past records, then we can analyze those data and we can take decisions, right? In company based, organization based, and for the whole world it will be valuable. Why? Something like hurricane came in 2012 in somewhere. What they did is they analyzed it and they knew it before 4 or 5 days. It happens before the hurricane. Then they took necessary actions before it happens. Those are the stuff they can do, okay, using big data. Then which of the following statements is not correct about Hadoop distributed file system? But definitely there will be a question, okay, in your paper from big data concepts. No any other calculation, no practicals. They're asking theory question. Now we'll do one past paper question, okay, from big data. Right, what is HDFS? Hadoop distributed file system. Just remove H, right? Then this is common for every big data concept. Distributed file system, same concept, apply for every platform. Cassandra or Spark or anything, okay? Distributed file system is a concept. I already explained. Files are going to distribute among different devices and it will make different copies. Then HDFS is a storage layer of Hadoop. Storage layer of Hadoop, which is correct, okay? Storage, it's discussing about the storage, storing data. Data gets stored in distributed manner in HDFS. Yes, HDFS performs parallel processing of data. It's not about processing, it's about storing data, right? Parallel processing is not something related to task. It takes a task into breakdown into smaller tasks and execute using different machines. At the end, combine the result. Smaller chunks of data are stored on multiple data nodes. Yes, ABD is correct. Okay, right. Then are you clear? Big data concept. The rest of the stuffs we are going to discuss while we discussing past papers. Right. The same concept we discuss is here as a note. Okay. We discuss about volume. Big data involves a massive volume of data. You know that. I'm telling this again and again because it's important. And remember, Lamai, these presentations got the essence of your specification. There's nothing that you can avoid in these notes. Okay. As a homework, what you need to do is you need to add more data when you're writing notes. Search it, use Perplexity, ChatGPT, Google. Then when you write in the notes, if you can't remember what is velocity means, search. Then add some more. That is how your learning process should be. Don't think about the teacher is going to give all the stuff to you. Okay, because you already know they're not recommending any textbook, which is good. Otherwise, all the students are going to depend on the textbook. They're not going to collect any information from outside. So there is a reason they're not recommending any textbook. Then you are going to learn, search and learn. You're going to self-learn. Right? What is the best learning technique? Self-learning. Okay, self-learning is the best learning technique. Then volume is done. Velocity, the big data generated and collected at high speed. That is what velocity means. Then real time or near real time, we need to record them. The velocity of data creation is right. Ingestion required efficient data capture, processing, and analyzing to keep up with the space. Okay. In variety, different variety of data. Some data is structured, some data is semi-structured, some data is unstructured. Then big data concept should support for all variety of data. Right. Veracity, big data often suffers from issues of veracity of accuracy. Lamai, with this word, remember the word accuracy. Right. Accuracy. All the data should be relevant and accurate. And the value, easy. Right. Once we collect or we store data which is valuable for us. If data is not valuable, if information is not valuable, there's no point of collecting them. Right. Right, we'll come to this one after discussing this paper. Wait. Right. Okay. The question, not the question. Right. During the class, you must write the answers that I'm going to tell, that I'm going to ask. Okay. You can write the topic, which is 2021 October, November. It's a paper, Unit 3. Right, question number 1, part A. 1. Answer for the first one. Due to other characteristics of big data. One is given, which is a volume. Then I explain about 5 things. 5 V's. Everything start with V. Volume, velocity, variety, veracity, and volume, value. Okay, remember them. Those are the stuff you need to remember. Okay, by just coming to the class, you can't remember all the stuff. In order to remember something, you have to revise it again and again. Revising is the only tool to remember something. We'll do quizzes, right? And we'll do past papers when we doing the same thing. When we use the stuff we learn again and again, it's another technique, right? For example, today we are learning about big data. Then we are doing past papers from the stuff we learn. One way of revising. Then we are doing a quiz. Again, you are going to revise. In the middle of the week, you are going to write notes. Again, you are going to revise, right? And before come to the next class, you have to revise all the stuff. Okay, I'm going to ask questions. Right, you can write 2. Then high capacity storage devices are required to handle big data. State one other infrastructure requirement for big data. High capacity storage. Well, who can explain why we need high capacity storage? Now you should be able to think. We haven't completely done with big data. Okay, we need to learn more, but from the stuff we already learned, you can answer these questions. Why we need massive amount of storage device, because we are using a distributed file system. Okay, we are going to make copies of every data, and we need to store them in different storages, not just one storage. एक हार्ड डिस्क එක store කරන්න hard disk ගොඩක store කරන්න. Got it? Then state one other infrastructure. Tell me. Infrastructure, when we say infrastructure, it involves hardware as well. When we say infrastructure, it involves hardware, software, and everything. Okay. Now, what are the three services that we can get from cloud computing? What are the three services that we can get from cloud computing? Do you remember? We learned in A's as well. Three services of cloud computing: software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. Now this one is talking about infrastructure requirement, which is not directly related to cloud computing, but think about the infrastructure. Today we learn the Hadoop framework, and we learn three things. One is Hadoop file distributed system, right? How the files and data is going to distribute, and how processes are going to execute, right? If we need to perform one task, the task is divided into small chunks, and those small tasks are going to perform using different devices. Then it's about processing power. It's about parallel processing. We need huge processing power, another infrastructure. In order to store or handle distributed file system, we need storage. It is given. High capacity storage devices are required. Then we need high capacity of processing power. Okay, that means devices. It can be normal computers, it can be mainframe computers, it can be a supercomputer as well. Okay, distributed, not just one, many. Okay, yes, some networking, huge network infrastructure was also required. All the devices should be connected to each other. Mainly right about processing power. Right. Lamai, when you write in the answers, always try to read the question and understand the questions clearly. Right. If you don't know, if you sometimes when you read the question, when you try to write the answer, you will forget what is the question is. Then read the question again. Always write the answers to the point. Okay. See, there's only one line. They're not expecting the huge answers. Right. If there are 2 marks, that means you need to mention 2 things. 1 mark, just one sentence is enough. Sometimes, for example, here, explain why DBMS, we'll come to this question later. Explain why DBMS may not be suitable. Look at the marks, 2. You can't stop writing by just one sentence. One sentence is not enough. Right? You need to write 2 things. Maybe you can combine 2 things in one sentence. It is possible. But they're expecting something, 2 points when you're explaining. For example, tell something and explain why. Okay, give the answer and give one benefit. Write the answer and one drawback. I'm just telling you the way of writing answers. Okay, not for this question, every question. Especially when you describe how Symmetric, will do this one later. Symmetric encryption works. 2 marks. 2 marks. If it is 1 mark, one sentence is enough. The company relies on suitable infrastructure, right? And they are explaining what is infrastructure, devices and connections and everything, okay, including software as well. Suitable infrastructure to make use of data it collects. The infrastructure may develop a bottleneck. The bottleneck could be slow storage media at the company's data center. The solution for this bottleneck would be to upgrade the storage media from mechanical hard drives to solid state drives. Okay, give one other possible infrastructure bottleneck and a solution. What is the bottleneck and the solutions they given? By reading this question, you can learn lots of stuff. Right? In this class, theory class, by reading just this question, you are going to learn something. Okay, if I try to give all the notes about everything, you're not going to continue this class. You're going to stop. Okay, therefore, always go for question and find the answer. Right, question and find the answer. Anyone? A problem and a solution. Right, a company who is handling big data, who is having big data framework, one problem is given, which is slow storage media at company's data center. Slow storage media. What is slow storage media mean? Slow means, can we measure the speed of a storage media? No. Storage media is for storing something. Slow means access speed. How much time it will take to get data from a storage. For example, is hard disk drive, HDD. There's something in here, right? CPU need to read the stuff. It will take long time. It will take long time to read the stuff in HDD. Instead, if you can use SSD, solid state drive, it's a different two technologies, okay? HDD is a magnetic. It's a magnetic storage media. SSD is solid state. Call them solid state drive. It's a solid state media, okay? What's the difference between these two technologies? It's completely different. Both of them are hard disk, yes, but HDD uses magnetic field to store data. Right? SSD uses kind of ICs, circuits, right? By using electrons. We are not going to discuss the structure of this stuff, but we do in AS, okay? Right. The thing is, CPU will be able to quickly access stuff in SSD. Quick means less access speed. Access speed is high. The time it takes to access is low. But speed high means it will take a little amount of time to access. That's what slow and fast mean, right? When you hear the word slow or fast of storage media, it's talking about access speed. Then that problem was solved. Slow storage media means they should have HDD, magnetic storage media, and they are going to replace or upgrade storage media from mechanical. Mechanical means HDD, magnetic storage media. Why it's mechanical? HDD hard disk got platters inside. It's moving. There's a read write head, remember is, and all of it. Okay. There are lots of moving parts inside. Okay. That is why access speed is slow. But when you got solid state drive, there's nothing moves. Circuits are there, ICs. Okay. Therefore, access speed is high. Then they are upgrading or replacing. Then solution. That is the solution. Think about another problem that company data center can face. Remember previous question? Previous question, the infrastructure need for infrastructure is processing power. One answer. You can write the same thing here. What is the problem they can face? They don't get enough processing power. Okay, or the processing speed is slow. Is a problem. That's a bottleneck. One bottleneck. Okay, what is the solution? Upgrading processes, replacing current process with speed processes, or they can purchase more processes. Got it? One bottleneck and one solution. You need to write it down. I mean, you need to write it down in notebooks. That question number and the answers. I'm just explaining. When we're doing papers, we'll come to the structure. Right? Always when we analyzing data and storing data and managing data, data should be transmit. Right? We need to transmit data. Right? The users are going to access data every time. Then the transmission speed can be slow. So slow transmission speed due to what? One is ISP, internet service provider, low connection, low internet connection. That is one bottleneck. And also you can mention direct this answer to another direction, which is using slow data transmission media like coaxial or twisted pair, TP, coaxial. They may use twisted pair or coaxial cables for networking. If the connection is slow, they can replace with fiber optic. Right? They need high speed data transmission. Okay. Another bottleneck. Space, physical space. The building is not enough to keep all the storages. Big data means huge amount of data and to store. If physical space is not enough to operate all the storage devices, solution, cloud storage. They can purchase cloud storage for this company. Okay, you can think and write. This is the lesson number. Okay, I'm not writing the answers for this question. I'm teaching the stuff. Right. Next question. Yes, we can do. Read the question. The question says company collects and stores data at airports in several countries. One method of controlling data storage is to use database management system. A database management system is not suitable for this big data system. Explain why DBMS may not suitable. Right. When you're writing the answers, Lamai, mention why the normal database management system is not suitable. Okay. In what is the solution provided by big data? Two things. Why? How big data is going to solve? Cause the problem and how it's going to solve is one way. Or two problems. Explain two things. The company collects storage data at airports in several countries. Airports in several countries. Okay. When we dealing with database management systems, then we are talking about just one database. All the data is in one database. Can have lots of tables. Okay. And yes, it can't handle the huge amount of data, which is okay. And DBMS handles data in one database, and those data should be structured. Right? It handles only structured data in tables, in tabular format. All the data should be in tables. Remember, we discussed one characteristics in big data. It can handle structured, semi-structured, unstructured. Right? Doesn't necessarily, it doesn't need to be structured. Also handle unstructured and semi-structured. Right? You need to link those things when you're writing the answers. Got it? You can write DBMS one answer. DBMS stores all data in one database, but big data can handle several databases. Right? Distributed file systems. Databases can be in different countries, which is okay. And DBMS handles only structured data. Therefore, it isn't suitable for this occasion because big data is going to handle structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. Okay. Another thing you need to remember, like I mentioned before, big data is not in a single location. Can be in several locations, maybe in a different country as well. They can link together using internet. Right, next question. Can't do that. Still we didn't go through that lesson. The company's big data operations use distributed system. Describe what is mean by the term distributed system. You can write this question. Company's big data operations uses distributed system. Describe what is mean by term distributed system. Right, we discussed when we discussing Hadoop, distributed file system. Okay, distributed file system. This is distributed system. Same concept. If we are saving our data and files and folders in a distributed manner, that is distributed file system. which uses in Hadoop, we call HDFS. Okay. When we say distributed system, systems are distributed, maybe in several locations, maybe several countries. Okay. That's the advantage of big data. One disadvantage of DBMS, database management system. One database should be in one place, right? All the data is in one place. Structured data is structured in tabular formats. Okay, those are the disadvantages when it comes to big data. Distributed system. Describe what is meant by distributed system. How are you going to explain? System components are distributed among different locations. Okay, then don't stop it from there. Explain the advantage by distributing the system physically in different locations. What are the advantages you're going to get? Right, you can easily manage data, right? They can easily access data, and those distributed systems connect each other, works like a one system. That's the advantage, right? Even though it's distributed, for the user, if I am using that system, it doesn't feel system is distributed. We can see everything on a one, something like one system. Right. Right. And another thing that you can mention, distributed system can have different computers, devices, different devices, not just one device, not just one storage device, not just one processor, not just one computer, not just one supercomputer, right? Always it's not one, many. If something happens to one device, nothing happens to the whole system. Okay, even one device is failed, doesn't affect to the whole system. What happened when we use in DBMS? Something happens to the database, everything is gone. Okay, right. Those are the advantages. When you write in the answers, you have to mention it as well. Always look at how many marks you're gonna get. 2. When the mark is 2, all don't stop it from one sentence. Right. One problem with distributed system is controlling concurrency. Give one consequence of poor concurrency control in distributed system. Because we are handling distributed system means the same data is going to store in different locations. But when we discussing relational databases, what was the biggest problem? Data redundancy, repeating the same data is a problem in RDBM. It can occur in here as well, right? Because same data is repeating, same file is repeating with several locations. Therefore, when we search something, we can have duplicate data. When we update something, we have to update all the concurrents, right? All the locations. Data should be overwritten. Okay, then it is very hard to maintain data integrity. Those are the stuff, but it will give only one answer. Therefore, 1 point is enough. Because in the exam, they always ask lots of questions from new technologies. Like big data is something not new, but it's updating. What was the stuff we already discussed today? Big data concept. Remember 5 V's, okay? Earlier was 4 V's. volume, velocity, variety, velocity, and value, right? And the examples. These are the characteristics, features of a big data. Okay, they can handle a large volume of data. They can handle the velocity, the speed of data collection. The big data can handle variety of data, structured, semi-structured, unstructured. And big data is veracity, it's accurate, trustworthiness, and it got a value. Okay, these features are there. And mainly 3 frameworks: Cassandra, Hadoop, Spark. Right. Just remove the word Hadoop. Distributed file system means file is going to distribute among different devices, different storages. You can think of hard disk if you want. Okay, different hard disk, not just one hard disk. You will get lots of advantages. If one hard disk is failed, still data is secure. And also the system is running, data also secured, and system also running. Okay, something if one device is failed. But we need the disadvantage, we need more space, more storage space, more hardware devices. But when you got a task, parallel processing means a process can be break down into small parts and process it using different processors or devices or computers. And the result of each processor, each device is combined together and output the result. Okay, there are lots of advantages as well. Then by analyzing those data, we can get future decisions. We can predict the stuff it's going to happen. Those are the advantages. The next topic we need to discuss is issues. Right, the issues associated with collecting big data includes data storage, data processing, and we discuss in questions as well. Okay, while we doing the questions, we discuss some of them: data integration, data quality, right, and infrastructure and services which allows big data. But we'll discuss them next week.
Kasun Sameera, shaping your future with the best ICT experience.